What's up, everybody? I just want to do a quick recap. UFC Kansas City. I thought it was an amazing card. It's so great whenever they go back to a city, and like the last couple prelims all the way to the main event were pretty much bangers. There's a couple. I thought the Jacoby Mirzakanov fight, decent fight. I didn't think it should have been that high up on the card. The only thing that bothered me, I thought that the Royval and Nicolau fight, that should have been where the Dustin Jacoby and Ozamont fight was, which was like the feature fight. I thought that would have been perfect, and I thought that Bill Algeo and TJ Brown, I thought that was the perfect prelim main event. It was definitely a banger, and two decently profile guys, so I thought that would have been a perfect lead-in. And I think the Jacoby Mirzakanov, that should have been the second fight on the card. Then he would have had, and then I think you should have had Tanner Bozerny, Kutalaba below, Munoz and Gutierrez. But all in all, amazing card, and what a main event. I didn't do very well on the night. I mixed up some underdogs. But the first one, I did get Jocelyn Edwards right as an underdog, even though she did not win that fight. No way. And as soon as I heard she missed weight, I just knew she was going to win for some reason. That's what happens at women's bantamweight. You always go with the underdog for low-level women. And, yeah, I got really lucky on that one. And then Ed Herman and Zach Cummings, I don't know. I shouldn't have bet on that fight. I went with Ed Herman because he was an underdog, but Zach Cummings looked really good. Like, I'm kind of surprised he's retiring so matter-of-factly, but I think he could win some fights, some lower-level fights. I think he could be a fun guy there, but, good for him. Let's just get right into it here. Real quick, the first fight I want to talk about I got wrong was the flyweight title eliminator, Brandon Raw Dog Royval, Mateus Nicolau. Got that one wrong. I knew Royval was a sizable underdog, but after seeing them both fight Matt Schnell, Nicolau deaded him. And then Royval got dropped by Matt Schnell, so I just went with Nicolau, man. I thought Nicolau would catch Brandon Royval coming in. That's not what happened. Nicolau just kind of circled outside like he always does, like I knew he was going to. And then whenever he steps in, Raw Dog jump knee to the face, drops him, lands a hook, jumps on top of him, disgusting elbows, and just knocks the dude out cold with the elbows. So, yeah, dude, Raw Dog is dangerous. It seems like he kind of tuned in his game a little bit, and he's not so wild. And he was just waiting for his perfect opportunity. He got it done, and he definitely deserves that title shot, and I can't wait, and he'll be the backup fighter, so I think that's great. And then Bill Algeo, TJ Brown, the prelim main event. I got that one correct. I went with Bill Algeo. I knew TJ Brown could bang, but this fight, really, I didn't expect it to be this much of a banger. In the first round, Bill drops him with the counter left hook, and then he's able to get the double, but he tries to take his back, but then TJ kind of sits out, with a Kimura attempt, but then TJ landed a flurry and a knee up against the fence, but then Bill kind of backs up, and his kicks are too short. Then TJ starts slipping a lot of the strikes there, and TJ keeps moving forward the whole time, and I was kind of worried he might catch Bill with a big shot. But then the second round, TJ rocks him with the straight right, and then Bill landed a counter cross and a knee, and then TJ's able to complete the double, but Bill gets back up, and then he's landed some elbows whenever TJ has that single up against the fence, and something I noticed in the tape that TJ just kind of hangs on to takedowns. He'll just desperately try to get takedowns on the cage. Then he drops him the counter elbow, and then he gets into the crucifix position. Looks like he might take him out, and then he finally gets the renegade choke submission. So it was a wild banger. TJ Brown looked better than I thought he would. He had gas up until through the second round. And Bill, he looks like a decent contender. I know he just lost his last fight, but he lost to Andre Fili, who's not bad. So, I don't know. I thought it was a decent fight. I think featherweight's still kind of stagnant because of what happened in the main event. But I think he should just fight Billy Quarantillo. We'll talk about him later. I think that'd be a perfect matchup. I think it'd be fun. So then the first fight of the main card, it was Rafa Garcia and Clay Guida at 155. I just wanted Rafa Garcia, even though the line was kind of out. It was a ridiculous line, but it is what it is, dude. Clay Guida, just watching that tape, just didn't have it anymore, and he doesn't even use his wrestling too much anymore. And it went pretty much according to plan. First round, Rafa just kind of lands some counter hooks, nothing too crazy there, just kind of outpoints him. Then the second round, Rafa jabs. He lands some counter overhands. He's able to stuff the double leg attempts at Guida, which I thought he would. Then in the second round, he's kind of stays in the pocket and he throws some hooks. But most of them get blocked. But he just, Clay's in the pocket throwing hooks, but most of them are blocked by Garcia. I mean, Clay, unfortunately, just looks slow. I mean, he's had 35 fights. And then Rafa counters, he lands uppercut and some elbows. Then Rafa shoots to the fence. He starts landing some hooks off of there. And, Clay was kind of taking a beating. So, yeah, it was a good stepping stone moment for Rafa Garcia. I don't really know who he's going to fight next. I mean, 155 has a plethora of people, but Clay Guida is kind of like, he fights like the new guys to see if they can even make anything themselves in UFC. So, Rafa passed that test pretty well. Then, let's see, the one that really sucked for me was the second fight on the main card at Bantamweight, Pedro Munoz and Chris Gutierrez. I mean, this is a pretty pivotal matchup, and Bantamweight's kind of going through a moving phase where they're trying to get the young up-and-comers against legends that have taken some losses to try to get them over. And you just saw with Adrian Yanez and Rob Font, and Rob Font got it done. And I had that in mind, but I was thinking, like, at some point, Bantamweight's got to move on. These older guys that already kind of had their shot, they can't just keep beating these younger guys. But, boy, I was wrong. And then looking at the tape with Pedro Munoz and O'Malley, I just kind of thought Pedro wouldn't do enough. I thought Gutierrez would land some big shots and kind of circle on the outside and I'll point him, but I forgot that Pedro has power. Yeah, Pedro is a sizable underdog too for this fight, so it's unfortunate that I lost that one. I mean, that really sucks. I hate losing when I bet on the favorite, and plus 160 underdog. But Pedro's kind of right away. Pedro drops him with a straight left, and he lands some nice ground and pound in full guard. And then Chris is able to get up, but then Pedro gets around his back, and then he circles on the outside. He lands some jabs whenever he gets pressed, and then Chris lands a back fist and a kick though right at the end there. But he got dropped pretty viciously. Then in the second round, Pedro gets presses with some leg kicks, and he looks for some overhands, and then Chris kind of skirts the fence. He lands some leg kicks, kind of looks for jabs. Nobody doing a ton of landing. I really don't know who won the second round. I mean, you can pretty much give it to whoever you want to. This fight, after the first round, it slowed way down, and you could tell Chris was a little gun-shy. And then in the third round, Chris lands some more leg kicks, and he pumps more jabs, tries to look for those spinning back fists. But then Pedro lands some overhands and leg kicks at the end, and I don't know, man. You can give it to whoever. I mean, obviously, Pedro won the first round. Second and third round, Pedro deserved to win the fight. So, where does Gutierrez go? I think Gutierrez fights Yanez, and then Pedro Munoz. Who knows who that dude fights? He's probably going to fight another up-and-comer. That's how it goes. Or, Pedro and Jonathan Martinez, maybe. Martinez needs a little bit of shine, so be interesting. Okay, and then feature fight of the main card at 205 pounds. This is a pretty easy pick for me. Tanner Boser and Ian Cutelaba. Tanner Boser making his lightweight debut at 205, cutting down. And Ian Cutelaba has had some troubles, but the dude hits hard and he can get takedowns. Tanner Boser, his weakness is getting taken down, not being able to get back up. Also, with that cut to 205, I thought Ian Cutelaba was either going to take him down and beat the shit out of him or just knock him out on the feet. And yeah, this fight did not go long. First round, just Ian rocks him with the overhand right, and then follows up with a flurry, shoots that double, and then just gets a ground and pound TKO. So he kind of did everything I expected. You get Ian out of the first round, you have a chance, but yeah, man, just not a strategic person to fight for Tanner Boser cutting down 205 because your chin is probably going to be susceptible. And Ian Cutelaba, very strong first round performer. Now he's finally back in the race. I think Ian Cutelaba, he could probably fight dude that fought Alonzo Menifield and damn, I forget his name, but maybe he could fight Alonzo Menifield. Let me look it up real quick. Yeah, so I just can't remember the guy's name that he. Okay, sorry. Jimmy Crute, perfect. Jimmy Crute and Alonzo Menifield had to draw the last fight. So, Ian Cutelaba needs to get back on the horse. I think he can fight Jimmy Crute. Both guys would need to win in that situation. Ian Cutelaba trying to resurrect his career. So, I think, Jimmy Crute and Ian Cutelaba, I think that would be a banger. I think it'd be a fun fight. So, I think that's next. Feature fight of the night, 205 pounds, men's light heavyweight. Dustin Jacoby taking on Azamat Mirzakhanov. Pretty close line. I went with Dustin Jacoby, slight favorite. I believe he was minus 150. Now he's minus 130, and sorry, minus 150, and Azamat was plus 130. I was thinking about taking the underdog, but I decided Jacoby's striking would be too clean. I thought he might have trouble in the first round, but Azamat was able to drop him the first 2 rounds, and Jacoby pulled out in the 3rd round. But Jacoby doesn't really have doesn't have much knockout power, and had a bad strategy, so that one kind of hurt. But it is what it is. Light heavyweight bottom rankings, light heavyweight's a little weird, but. In the first round, Dustin just kind of skirts the fence and lands some leg kicks, and then Azamat's landing some step-in crosses. Then Azamat drops him with a short right hook off of his jab. And, yeah, man, Azamat's got power, and he's able to carry it. And through the 2nd round, Azamat presses with some left hooks and blitzes, and Dustin lands a few jabs, and he clinches for a while to try to break it up. But then Azamat drops him with the overhand left toward the end of the round, so... Dustin was doing some decent work in the 2nd round, but it wasn't enough. And then in the 3rd round, Dustin comes out, he starts landing some big shots. It looks like he's going to try to finish it, but Dustin lands some hard crosses and some jabs and some 1-2s, and he stuffs the shot attempts, and he's able to clinch on the fence. Then he just gets a single off the fence, and then he keeps trying to collect a double through the end of the 3rd round. And he didn't really rock him seriously, but he was landing some decent shots, and Azamat was getting noticeably tired. And he just didn't follow up, man. It was just a bad game plan from him, and I think probably mentally he's not in a good space from the Khalil Roundtree fight, which a lot of people think he won. So tough one, drops 2 tough losses there. But Azamat, I don't really know how far I see him going in the light heavyweight division. I mean, I think he can probably get up to like 10. We'll see. For the next fight for Azamat, I think like Ryan Spann would be perfect. I think that would be a banger. And I think it's a winnable fight for either guy. And if Azamat can get over Ryan Spann's got a lot of hype on him. And if Azamat can get that one, I think it could propel his name. You could give him Paul Craig, but I don't know if anybody really wants to see that, to be honest with you. Or Volkan Ozdemir. There's a lot of decent options there. And Dustin Jacoby, he'll probably just fight some up-and-coming guy. We'll see, man. He doesn't have a style. Like, Dustin Jacoby, he needs to, win at least 2 rounds, and he's not like a big finisher, so he needs to put a perfect fight together. And when he doesn't lose, it's gonna take him a long time when he doesn't win, it's gonna take him a long time to get back up to the ranking. So we'll see what happens, man. It was a fun fight, but I just don't think it had the greatest placement on the card. Co-main event of the night, 145 pounds men's featherweight, Billy Q Quarantillo taking on Edson Barboza. I went with Edson Barboza on this one, man. I know he took a year off, but here's again this trend of these old veterans having one last go against these up-and-coming guys. And Billy Q, we saw him try to make his break into the top 15 against Shane Burgos last year. Just couldn't quite get it done. He's a solid fighter, but he's always just going to be a step lower, maybe the bottom of the top 15. And Billy Q's not as good of a wrestler as Bryce Mitchell is. And he's going to have to implement that game plan over 3 rounds. I just thought Barboza would catch him. That's pretty much what happened. I didn't expect it to happen in the first round. But first round, Billy gets a single to the clinch on the fence. And he presses with some jabs. But then he's eating some leg kicks when he's coming forward. But he lands a jab and then overhand to the single. But can't really do too much with it. And then Barboza lands some counter overhands when Billy presses the hooks. He lands a front kick, and then he lands a lunge jab, and then he level changes up against the fence to go for that takedown again, and then he just eats a giant knee by Edson Barboza. It knocks him out cold. It happened so fast you couldn't even exactly tell what happened on the broadcast, so pretty interesting. And that was the one veteran I did decide to go with. Pretty decent win for me. Kind of saved me. Plus 145. Nice, pretty decent odds on that one. So, it sucks, man. Billy Q, really fun fighter, but he's just going to be a fan favorite, at the bottom of the top 15. But a lot of people like him. He does have a fun style, but he just rushes forward. He just kind of tries to out-push guys and just kind of rushes things. And he was just too overzealous with that takedown, And it kind of looked like he was trying to outstrike Barboza for a little bit there. And then he didn't really throw too much in front of his takedowns. You need to kind of jab him up or get Edson throwing something at you and then shoot for the takedown or stay high level so you can't get hit with that jumping knee. So yeah, but like I said, I think Billy should fight Bill Algeo next. I think that's just a fun fight, winnable for both guys. And then for Barboza, he's not going to make a title run anytime, but I think like Dan Ige or Sadiq Youssef be a fun fight. I know Sadiq Youssef had a fight. I think he had to pull out. Can't exactly remember, but either Dan Ige or Sadiq Youssef. Barboza's at number 14 right now, so I think that'd be a fun fight. And I think they would help either guy, and then, you know, either Sadiq or Dan Ige could use the rub. But actually, Dan Ige, he wants to fight Nate the Train Landwehr, so we'll see. So maybe Sadiq Youssef. I think that'd be a good name boost if Sadiq could get that over. So, main event of the night. Pretty solid fight. Pretty good display of technical ability. 145 pounds, men's featherweight. Max Blessed Holloway taking on Arnold Almighty Allen. I went back and forth on this one. I went with Arnold Allen. He was the underdog. It basically came down to, I was just going to pick the underdog, you know. It was plus 140, and I honestly wasn't very confident about it, but wasn't like writing off Max Holloway, but, you know, Max Holloway just lost 5 rounds to Volkanovski. And Arnold Allen, I think Max is a better technical striker, but I thought Arnold Allen could hit him with some big shots and win 3 rounds. And the rounds were really close. It was a very competitive fight, but Max just edged out a couple of rounds. And, you know, Max Holloway is the truth, man. He's not going anywhere. And you try to look at the narratives a little bit. It's like, is Max Holloway really going to beat another up-and-coming contender so nobody else can fight Volkanovski? And it's like, it can't keep happening, but it happened again. So, you know, both guys pretty much need Yair to win. So, featherweight just kind of a log-jammed mess at the moment. But, you know, it was worth it to see Max Holloway do his thing again. And he's like this, he'll be forever the second best featherweight right now. So, but pretty good fight. First round, Max blitzes with some 1-2s, but Arnold lands an overhand left. Then Arnold, he throws a 1-2 head kick, but it's a little too short. And Max just kind of, you can tell there's a speed difference there with Max, and he was just getting off a little faster. And then the second round, though, I thought Arnold got this round. Arnold lands a step in overhand left, and he with some short hooks inside the pocket, and then Max lands some straight rights and some body kicks in there. But I thought Arnold landed the bigger shots. Then in the third round, Max 1-2 blitz landed a little bit, or landed that a couple times. Then Arnold, he looks for the lead left hooks, but he misses like most of them. He's kind of swinging a little wild, getting a little frustrated, it looked like. Then in the fourth round, Max lands some 1-2s, and he steps in the pocket, and then he'll go back to range. But then Arnold lands a lunge left, and then Max counters him with a body kick, though. Then Arnold was able to land that lead left hook, but it never like really landed flush. I mean, he did hit with some decent shots, but Max Holloway's got a hell of a chin, and Max just kept circling backwards, and it never connected fully. But, you know, Max definitely had to use his chin there. Then the fourth round, Arnold presses, and he lands some hooks in the pocket, but then Max lands a spinning elbow. Then Max landed a body kick, and then Arnold kind of clinches him up there. And then Arnold landed a decent head kick, but it was partially blocked by Holloway. He was circling out. And then Arnold gets a quick foot sweep, knocks Max down on his butt. Then he's able to throw the head kick again, partially blocked. Then he clinches. Waits till there's 10 seconds to go. Then he lands a knee and an elbow, but then Max drops him with a left hook. And on the broadcast, it didn't look like he got dropped. It really looked like he slipped, but he was coming forward with all his momentum, kind of leaning over himself. Max clocked him there, but it was literally like 1 second left to go in the fight. So I don't know how much you want to count that. Looking back on it, I would give Arnold Allen that round because, like, let's say that happened in the middle of the round. Arnold got right back up, and Arnold, I thought he did the most damage besides that. So I would have gave him the second and the fifth round, but pretty competitive fight. They give it to Max. You know, it's a feel good story for Max. Arnold Allen, only 29. He's got time. He was really close to being Max Holloway. He's on the right track. It's just opportunities in that division are getting sucked up because Max Holloway is still Max Holloway. But there's a guy that can beat him named Alex Volkanovski. So pretty tough. But Holloway said he wants to fight Korean Zombie next. I mean, please don't make that fight because Korean Zombie hasn't fought in over a year, and you saw what Volkanovski did to him. And I think Max, dude, you saw what Max did to Calvin Kattar. So, I don't know. But, I mean, if they want to make that fight, go ahead. It'd be good for the UFC because he's distracted with the fight. They could possibly get a new contender in there. So they don't have to match the next up-and-coming guy with Max Holloway. And for Arnold Allen, who should he fight next at featherweight? Well, Josh Emmett's already paired up with Taporia. It looks like Calvin Kattar. Henry fight. I would say Giga Chikadze if he ever comes back, but, you know, it's just tough hang at featherweight. Brian Ortega's injured. He beat Sadiq Youssef. That's way down the rankings. Evloev and Mitchell are going to go at it. Giga Chikadze, but is he ever coming back, dude? Like, featherweight's just very odd at this time, so I guess he could fight the loser, Yair and Volkanovski, but they're probably going to do 3 if Yair wins. But if Volkanovski beats Yair, then Yair and Arnold sounds like an awesome fight. All in all, great fight night. Like, I wish all fight nights were like this. Like, there's a bunch of compelling matchups on the main card. And a couple ones just for fun in there that didn't really mean too much. But I thought that was a decent mixture. I just wish, like, I'm really sick of the flyweights. This was a top 5 fight. Brandon Royval 4 versus Nicolau 5. And it had title implications. And it was second fight on the prelims. They just do not. They refuse to promote flyweights. I kind of get it, I guess, because sometimes they don't make weight or they pull out of the fight last minute, like Alex Perez. So, I don't know. Maybe that's why, but hopefully Brandon Royval set them straight and they get on the main card next time. But this week we got Sergey Pavlovich taking on Curtis Blades at heavyweight. The heavyweight division's a mess now because apparently Jones and Stipe aren't going to fight until November. So the winner of this fight is probably going to fight for the title next. They're basically going to be out a year, but maybe Jones and Stipe is a double retirement fight. Who knows? But still a huge fight at heavyweight, so I'm excited. Thanks, guys. We'll do better next week.